Okay, I'm going to prove these two identities. My first thing I should always do is just change the left side, not the right side, and use the identities in the boxes above. I always want to try to change things to sine or cosine. That's a guideline. So in the first problem here, I see the secant is the only one that's not sine or cosine. So I'm going to change secant, and secant, I'm going to use this one. Secant is 1 over cosine, because that's turning it into a sine or cosine function. So I'm going to use secant. I'm going to change that to sine over cosine. So I have cos x, and then it's going to be over secant, which is 1 over cos x. Okay, now this is, I'm not going to touch this side. I'm not going to touch the cosine squared x part. All right, I'm going to change. Now this is just algebra, so this is a division problem, so it's cosine. Right now I have cosine x divided by 1 over cos x. Okay, and we know that that's the same as keep, change, flip. So I go cosine x, change it to multiplication, and then flip the second one to be cosine x over 1. Okay, when I do that, I end up with cos x squared. Okay, which is what I wanted to have in the beginning. So this is what I was trying to get to, and that is what I got to. So check. All right, the second one, I'm going to look at the same thing. I'm not going to touch the right side. I'm not going to touch this cosine A. That's what I want to try to get to when I mess with this stuff. So I look over here. I don't want to touch the cosine because I want cosine or sine, but I'm going to change the cotangent to something that deals with sine and cosine. So if I go up to my chart, I don't want to use this one here because this turns it into 1 over tangent, and I don't want tangent. But I'm going to change it into this one because that turns it into cosine and sine. So I'm going to use this one instead of this one. Okay, because this one gets it to be sine and cosine. There is a different way I can do this one, but this is the way I'm going to do this problem right now. Okay, so then I keep the sine A. And the A just means it's an angle. So last one had an X in it. That part doesn't matter. And then I'm going to do change cotangent to cosine x over sine x. All right, and again, I'm not touching the right side. Now I'm just going to clean this up and do math. So when I do, these are supposed to be A's, sorry. Okay, so when I do my math, I can cross off the sine and I can cross off the sine, and look, I'm left with cos A, and that's what I was shooting for. So check, that identity works. So those are two kind of simple ones using the identities. The keys are to keep the chart in front of you or keep it in your head. But you have to know how to use that. And I turned everything into sine and cosine is the best that I could.